Wow, I would have had some scotch had I known.
You do still drink a little bit.
I do, yeah. That's what things just kind of go from here to there.
When the cameras stop rolling, some Hollywood stars don't just call it a night. They throw themselves into wild, no-holds-barred parties that become the stuff of legend. From outrageous benders to headline-making escapades, these actors didn't just play hard. They partied harder, leaving chaos, unforgettable stories, and a few regrets in their wake. Get ready, because these tales of over-the-top partying are as shocking as they are downright entertaining. John Belushi. John Belushi is one of those names that lights up the history of comedy like fireworks in the night sky. Known for his electric energy, physical comedy, and larger-than-life personality, Belushi was one of the original cast members of Saturday Night Live, SNL. In the late 1970s, when SNL was redefining comedy for a new generation, Belushi was at its heart, creating unforgettable characters like Samurai Futaba and delivering spot-on impersonations, including a now iconic Joe Cocker. Belushi's success on SNL led to Hollywood, where his role as John Bluto Blutarsky in Animal House cemented him as a cultural icon. His rebellious, beer-chugging antics in the film resonated with audiences and made Animal House a box office smash. Belushi wasn't just a comedian, he was a symbol of chaotic brilliance, someone who could make you laugh until your stomach hurt. But with fame came pressure, and with pressure came the demons. Belushi's off-screen life mirrored the wild characters he portrayed. He partied hard, often mixing work with late-night escapades that involved alcohol and drugs. Hollywood's fast-paced, high-pressure environment didn't help matters. Friends and colleagues expressed concern, but Belushi's star was so bright that few could get through to him. In March 1982, tragedy struck. Belushi was found dead at the age of 33 in a bungalow at the Chateau Marmont in Los Angeles. The cause? A lethal combination of heroin and cocaine, often referred to as a speedball. His death shocked the world and served as a grim reminder of the perils that accompany fame. The comedic world lost one of its brightest stars far too soon, Lindsay Lohan. If you were watching movies in the late 90s and early 2000s, you couldn't miss Lindsay Lohan. From the moment she graced the screen in Disney's The Parent Trap remake, it was clear this young actress was destined for greatness. Lohan played identical twins separated at birth, showcasing a remarkable range of emotion and comedic timing for someone so young. The world fell in love with her, and Hollywood eagerly opened its doors. Lohan's star only rose higher with hits like Freaky Friday and Mean Girls. The latter, in particular, became a cultural phenomenon, with quotable lines and a spot-on performance by Lohan as the relatable yet charismatic Katie Heron. By her late teens, Lohan was one of the most in-demand actresses in Hollywood, her name synonymous with charm and talent. But as her fame grew, so did the scrutiny, and the cracks began to show. Hollywood is no easy place for a young star, and Lohan's rapid rise came with intense pressure. As she transitioned from child star to adult, the tabloids took a keen interest in her personal life. Every late-night party, every relationship, and every misstep became front-page news. By the mid-2000s, her partying lifestyle began to overshadow her career. In 2007, she was arrested twice for driving under the influence. Adding fuel to the fire, police found cocaine in her possession during one of these incidents. Court appearances, rehab stays, and a series of publicized missteps followed. Lohan's reputation in Hollywood took a nosedive. Producers found her unreliable, and insurance companies labeled her a liability, making it nearly impossible for her to secure roles. Despite the chaos, Lohan attempted multiple comebacks. Films like Georgia Rule and Liz and Dick were meant to mark her return to form, but failed to capture the magic of her earlier work. The media painted her as a cautionary tale, a former child star who burned out too soon. In recent years, however, Lohan has taken significant steps to rebuild her life. She moved to Dubai, where she found solace away from the paparazzi and the relentless tabloid culture of Los Angeles. There, she began focusing on her well-being and quietly plotting her return to acting. In 2022, she made a splash with Netflix's holiday film Falling for Christmas, which was warmly received by audiences. It marked a new chapter in her life, one that hinted at the possibility of long-term stability and a career resurgence. Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen's name is practically synonymous with Hollywood's highs and lows. In the 1980s and 1990s, Sheen built a solid reputation as a charismatic actor, with standout performances in films like Platoon and Wall Street. But it wasn't until his transition to television that he became a household name. Starring in Spin City and later 2.5 Men, Sheen struck gold. He brought sharp comedic timing and a certain devil-may-care charm to the role of Charlie Harper, a character seemingly modeled on Sheen's real-life persona. His performance earned him critical acclaim and cemented 2.5 Men as one of the most popular sitcoms of the 2000s. For a while, Sheen was on top of the world. He was the highest-paid actor on television, earning $1.8 million per episode. Fans adored his carefree, roguish appeal, and the industry celebrated his ability to turn any role into a success. But behind the scenes, a storm was brewing. The very traits that made Sheen such a captivating actor, his unpredictability, larger-than-life personality, and unfiltered honesty, would soon become his undoing. By the early 2010s, Charlie Sheen was making headlines for all the wrong reasons. His struggles with substance abuse, erratic behavior, and explosive public outbursts became a media frenzy. Sheen's highly publicized feud with 2.5 Men creator Chuck Lorre led to his dismissal from the show in 2011, a move that shocked the entertainment world. His infamous interview, where he declared he was winning and had tiger blood, became a cultural phenomenon, spawning memes and late-night comedy sketches. But while the internet had its laughs, Sheen's life was unraveling. He admitted to a lifestyle of heavy drug use and alcohol, surrounded by what he called his goddesses in a series of chaotic interviews. His career suffered as he became uninsurable and difficult to work with. Attempts at comebacks, like his FX series Anger Management, fell flat compared to his earlier successes. In 2015, Sheen revealed he was HIV positive, a diagnosis he had kept private for years. This moment of vulnerability offered a rare glimpse of the man behind the headlines, Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore's journey is the stuff of Hollywood legend. Born into the iconic Barrymore acting dynasty, Drew seemed destined for stardom. And stardom came early. At just 7 years old, she stole hearts worldwide with her role as Gertie in Steven Spielberg's E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Her big eyes, infectious smile, and natural charm made her an instant sensation, and the world fell in love with the pint-sized star. But Drew's early exposure to fame also came with an introduction to Hollywood's darker side. Her family's tumultuous dynamics and the industry's lack of safeguards for child actors left her vulnerable. By the time she was 9, Drew was attending Studio 54, one of the most infamous nightclubs of the 1980s. Alcohol was introduced into her life early, followed by marijuana and cocaine. At just 13 years old, Drew entered rehab for the first time. The image of young Drew, once America's sweetheart, spiraling into substance abuse shocked the public. She became the poster child for the pitfalls of early fame, with her struggles splashed across tabloid covers. At 14, she emancipated herself from her parents and began the difficult task of rebuilding her life. What makes Drew Barrymore's story remarkable isn't just her fall, it's her rise. Few child stars manage to claw their way back after such public struggles, but Drew did just that. She emerged in her late teens and early 20s with a renewed focus on her career, determined to prove she was more than her troubled past. The 1990s marked the beginning of her resurgence. Roles in quirky romantic comedies like The Wedding Singer and dramatic hits like Boys on the Side showcased her range as an actress. But Drew didn't just stop at acting. She wanted more control over her career. In 1995, she co-founded her own production company, Flower Films, which produced hits like Never Been Kissed, Charlie's Angels, and 50 First Dates. These films not only cemented her status as a leading lady, but also demonstrated her savvy as a businesswoman. Drew's personal life also began to stabilize. While her journey wasn't without its challenges, she went through multiple marriages and continued therapy to address her past traumas. She found joy in motherhood and a sense of balance in her life. Her candor about her struggles with addiction, relationships, and mental health has endeared her to fans even more. Macaulay Culkin. Macaulay Culkin is one of the most iconic child stars in Hollywood history. In the early 1990s, he skyrocketed to fame with his unforgettable role as Kevin McAllister in Home Alone. His charming performance, comedic timing, and signature scream while slapping aftershave on his cheeks became a cultural touchstone. Almost overnight, Culkin became a household name, earning widespread acclaim and a place in the hearts of millions. Home Alone and its sequel, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, were massive box office successes, making Culkin one of the highest-paid child actors of all time. He didn't stop there. His performances in films like My Girl and Richie Rich showcased his ability to carry a movie and solidified his reputation as a talented young actor. At just 10 years old, Culkin was not only a star but also the face of a generation's childhood nostalgia. But with great fame came even greater challenges. As a child, Culkin didn't have the tools to navigate the complex dynamics of Hollywood, and the adults around him often seemed more interested in his bankability than his well-being. His relationship with his father, Kit Culkin, who managed his career, was particularly fraught. Kit was reportedly controlling and demanding, creating a tense and toxic environment for Macaulay. By the time he reached his teenage years, Culkin had had enough of the limelight. In 1994, after a string of successful films, Culkin took a step back from acting. The pressures of fame, combined with his tumultuous family dynamics, led him to retreat from the public eye. For much of the late 1990s and early 2000s, Culkin kept a low profile, avoiding major roles and focusing on his personal life. However, his retreat from acting didn't shield him from media scrutiny. As he entered adulthood, Culkin faced rumors of substance abuse and struggles with his mental health. Paparazzi followed his every move, eager to capture any sign of a child star gone wrong narrative. Photos of him looking gaunt and unkempt circulated widely, fueling speculation about his well-being. Amanda Bynes. If you were a kid or teen in the early 2000s, Amanda Bynes was everywhere. She was the queen of Nickelodeon, winning audiences over with her comedic genius and charm on All That and her self-titled show, The Amanda Show. Bynes had a natural knack for physical comedy, impeccable timing, and a relatability that made her one of the most beloved teen stars of her time. Her success on Nickelodeon paved the way for a seamless transition to film. Hits like What a Girl Wants, She's the Man, and Hairspray proved that Bynes had what it took to excel on the big screen. Her performances were lighthearted, fun, and charismatic, and she quickly became a go-to actress for teen and young adult comedies. At her peak, she was one of Hollywood's most bankable young stars, earning comparisons to comedic greats like Lucille Ball. In the years following her retirement, Amanda Bynes' life took a sharp and very public turn. In 2012, she made headlines for a series of erratic behaviors, including a DUI arrest, hit-and-run incidents, and bizarre tweets that raised concerns about her mental state. The public watched in shock as the former Nickelodeon sweetheart seemed to spiral out of control. Her behavior became increasingly erratic, culminating in a highly publicized incident in 2013 when she started a small fire in a stranger's driveway. This led to her being placed on a 72-hour psychiatric hold. Around this time, Bynes was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and was placed under a conservatorship controlled by her parents, a move that mirrored Britney Spears' own struggles. Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. was practically born into the entertainment industry. With his father, Robert Downey Sr., being an avant-garde filmmaker and his mother an actress, Downey Jr. was introduced to the world of film and creativity at an early age. But with this artistic upbringing came exposure to a darker side of life. His father introduced him to drugs at just 6 years old, a moment Downey has described as a bonding experience that ultimately set the stage for years of struggles. Downey began acting as a teenager and quickly made a name for himself with roles in films like Weird Science and Less Than Zero. By the 1980s and early 1990s, he had solidified himself as one of Hollywood's brightest young stars, earning critical acclaim and an Academy Award nomination for Chaplin in 1992. But behind the scenes, he was grappling with severe substance abuse issues. His performance in Less Than Zero, where he portrayed a drug-addicted party boy, eerily mirrored his real-life struggles. Throughout the 1990s and early 2000s, Downey's personal life often overshadowed his professional accomplishments. A string of arrests for drug possession, including heroin, cocaine, and marijuana, landed him in and out of rehab and jail. His career hit rock bottom when he was fired from the hit TV show Ally McBeal due to his erratic behavior and legal troubles. At one point, he was considered uninsurable, and many in Hollywood believed his career was over. Mischa Barton. Mischa Barton was the epitome of early 2000s cool. Her role as Marissa Cooper on The O.C. made her an instant star. The show, which debuted in 2003, was a cultural phenomenon chronicling the lives of privileged teens in Orange County, California. Barton's portrayal of the troubled, rebellious Marissa resonated with audiences, and she became a fashion icon and media darling almost overnight. Barton's success on The O.C. opened doors to movie roles and endorsements, and she quickly became one of Hollywood's it girls. But with fame came immense pressure. Barton, then in her late teens and early 20s, found herself thrust into the spotlight, with every aspect of her life scrutinized by the media. Paparazzi followed her relentlessly, and tabloids eagerly chronicled her every move. As her star rose, Barton became a regular on the party circuit. The pressures of fame, coupled with the lure of Hollywood nightlife, took their toll. Reports of erratic behavior, substance use, and health issues began to surface. In 2007, she was arrested for driving under the influence and possessing marijuana, which marked the beginning of a series of publicized incidents. Barton's struggles didn't stop there. In 2009, she was placed under an involuntary psychiatric hold after a neighbor called the police, concerned for her well-being. She later revealed that the pressures of fame and personal challenges had pushed her to a breaking point. Hospitalizations and legal battles followed, and her once promising career began to falter. By the time she left the O.C. after its third season, her Hollywood trajectory had taken a sharp downward turn. Errol Flynn. When you think of swashbuckling, dashing heroes of Hollywood's golden age, Errol Flynn is likely the first name that comes to mind. Known for his devil-may-care attitude, athletic prowess, and rugged good looks, Flynn epitomized the classic adventure hero. He starred in iconic roles like Robin Hood in The Adventures of Robin Hood, 1938, and Captain Blood, 1935, bringing charisma and energy to every performance. These films remain staples of Hollywood's early years, and Flynn's dynamic screen presence made him a household name. But Flynn's off-screen life was just as dramatic as the characters he played. He became notorious for his wild lifestyle, which included excessive drinking, womanizing, and a penchant for getting into trouble. His luxurious lifestyle and love of adventure earned him the nickname the Tasmanian Devil, a nod to his birthplace in Tasmania, Australia. Flynn's partying and scandals often overshadowed his acting career. In 1942, he faced one of the most notorious controversies of his life when he was charged with statutory rape involving two underage girls. Although he was acquitted, the trial cemented his reputation as a Hollywood bad boy. The phrase "in like Flynn" entered popular slang, referencing his supposed luck in charming women. As he aged, Flynn's health began to decline due to years of excessive drinking and a hedonistic lifestyle. By the 1950s, his once athletic frame had deteriorated and his career waned. He took on roles in lower-budget films, often playing characters that mirrored his real-life struggles with aging and excess. Flynn passed away in 1959 at the age of 50. His body weakened by cirrhosis of the liver and a heart attack. Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe is arguably the most enduring symbol of Hollywood glamour. Born Norma Jean Mortensen in 1926, Monroe transformed herself into an icon whose image continues to captivate audiences worldwide. Her rise to fame in the 1950s was meteoric, with her blonde bombshell persona making her a box office sensation and cultural phenomenon. While Monroe's professional life was dazzling, her personal life was plagued by struggles. She grew up in foster homes and faced a turbulent childhood which left deep emotional scars. Her quest for love and stability often led to tumultuous relationships, including marriages to baseball legend Joe DiMaggio and playwright Arthur Miller. Monroe battled feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, and depression, often compounded by the immense pressure of fame. She became reliant on prescription drugs, including barbiturates and amphetamines, to cope with the demands of her career and personal life. Her substance abuse issues and mental health struggles led to erratic behavior, missed film shoots, and strained relationships with studios. In 1962, Monroe's life came to a tragic end at just 36 years old. She was found dead in her Los Angeles home from an apparent overdose of barbiturates. Her death was officially ruled a probable suicide, though speculation about the circumstances continues to fuel conspiracy theories. Monroe's passing marked the end of an era and left a void in Hollywood that has never truly been filled. And that's a wrap. From wild nights to unforgettable headlines, these actors sure know how to party hard. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more juicy Hollywood stories. See you next time.